and you're just like, I hate this. Because the very first thing that I see when I open my Facebook app is somebody complaining about Trump or complaining about JD Vance or complaining about abortion or complaining about this or that or whatever the case may be. And it's a constant battle. And I'm just like, I'm so over it.
The buzzword these days is called dopamine detox.
Yeah.
And if you want a bit of fun, on Sundays, I call Sundays super slow Sundays, right? So if it takes me 8 seconds to walk across the room, I'll give it challenge. If you're going to accept this challenge, let me know. Walk across the room in 30 seconds instead of 8. If you've got lots of dopamine going through your system, you're like, what the hell? Because I've got to get to this next thing. So detoxing your dopamine actually connects you back into your body, raises your serotonin levels. Okay. So serotonin satisfies dopamine drives. There's a time and a place for both. And if I could just speak to the dopamine drive. So think of someone who's high on dopamine. They're going, I want to build the best cake ever. So they're going, oh, I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to get this. And then they go to the shop. Oh, I've got this and I've got this and I've got that. And then they go home, they bake the cake. The cake's baked. And then they smash it down their face and they're like, oh, let's make another one. Okay. It's very hard to satisfy a dopamine driven loop. But serotonin, on the other hand, says, I want to bake a cake. You bake the cake and you've got all the people around you that you truly love.
See you, Chris.
And you're giving them a piece of cake and they're eating it. And you're so happy to be in the space and all your friends are smiling. And it's like you're not even hungry because you've got that serotonin hit. And until we can actually balance those chemicals inside of us, the dopamine is a never-ending, no bottom to the depth it can take you. So what I'm trying to say, it's a good idea for one time a week to have a super slow day and just observe how far you're not in your own body because you're always trying to think ahead to do something else or go faster to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ty Cobb, welcome to the show, my brother.
What's that?
Are you there?
I think you're muted.
So he just put a link. I just put it out there in chat. I'm gonna put it back up on the screen here.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I was trying to find a slide that we use. We got a licensed clinical social worker that comes on our podcast quite often. And so I was going to send you this slide to throw up on the screen talking about the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins that we become addicted to the dopamine, just like the gentleman said. And if you can detox, just like he said, like everything he said, I was getting dopamine hearing it because that's the fucking truth is what he was saying. So I'm about to send you a slide, Willis.
All right. So William Stevens, who we'll have on Homefront Sit Rep with 1821 Productions, he says, so the last thing I say before I shut up for the night and sit here and listen to you all, how funny is it that TikTok, something I don't have, went offline the day before the inauguration? The reason why I say that is if something happens in the world, who is the first to know? The TikTokers, not the mainstream media. TikTok. So thank God somebody made the right call to have the inauguration indoors before, because I am telling you, if it would have been outside, it would have been ugly, all the crap. So I don't know. They said it was because it was cold. That's why they had it indoors. But who knows?
It was freezing ass cold.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
There's no friggin' air quotes around that. It was friggin' freezing.
Yeah, it was.
And to have people out in the friggin' the national lawn for the hours that you're there. I attended the inauguration, Trump's first one, and it wasn't miserably cold, but it was cold. It was drizzly. The rain didn't start until after the inauguration was almost over with, and it was miserable then. The temperature was 15 to 20 degrees colder this last time than it was then. So there's no air quotes on the cold. It was freezing.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely cold. Yeah. All right, let's.
Gunny, you seem like there was a bit of an emotional distress there around the cold, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Maine originally, so I know what cold is, and it was cold. I mean, it was a right decision to move inside, whether it had to do with anything with some type of attack that may have happened or not. Is who knows, but it was frigid.
Yeah, it was cold that day. I will agree. Trying to get this here, Ty Cobb. I'm
I'm just
logged
glad
into
it's warming up around here,
Facebook.
man.
Yeah, here I'm
You know,
about ready
so-
to go back up to below freezing weather there, Theory.
Oh, that sucks for you.
No, I'll be fishing, so I'm fine.
So
there
Theory,
you go.
it's warmer here in Louisville than it is up in Independence where Gunny lives, because most of our snow is melted, gone.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the snow that they still have up there is still there. And I was like, holy cow! All right,
Yeah,
let
Willis
me
rolled in today.
log into this.
He stopped by, and I wrote up a eyewitness statement for him for his VA claim. So he stopped in to pick that up, and yeah, there's still a ton of snow in my yard, and it's not
All right,
stuff
here you
that
go,
was
Tom.
How
plowed
far
there
are you
either.
from Louisville?
I'm 15 minutes from Cincinnati,
Oh, okay.
so I'm probably, as the
like
crow flies,
hour.
I'm probably 8 miles
Hour and a half.
from Cincinnati. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about an hour and
okay.
20.
Okay.
There you go, Ty Cobb. Are you there, Ty?
I think he's
brother.
muted. Ty, you're
No, I
muted.
love this.
Yeah, I'm here. So this is J. Alberto Fight. He's a licensed clinical social worker. He comes on our podcast quite often, but he talks about this and if you can study this and regulate these 4 areas of your brain and the neurotransmissions the habits that you create in your brain, then you're going to be able to overcome a lot of maybe the bad habits that you have. And so, like, I agree. Dopamine for me, I get dopamine by knowing that I'm doing these podcasts, completing a task, doing self-care activities, eating food. I am definitely an emotional eater. So if I get upset about something, I'm probably going to go get a cheeseburger. So these are all habits that I need to break. And so, I was up to 368 pounds, and then losing all that weight has helped me kind of regulate that stuff. And you don't realize that, your mood stabilizes when you start, going out in the sun, walking in nature, petting dogs. All these things are absolutely true. And if we paid more closer attention to what we're doing every day, I think we could live healthier lives. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to show this to you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a very
I
firm believer
freaking
in that.
love that because
my wife
what
does
that
that a
speaks
lot,
to
too.
is some people say we're humans are flesh and spirit. I just say, look, if someone was to look at you, could they see all of you? No, they couldn't, because there's parts of us that are seen, there are parts that are unseen. So those chemicals that you were talking about, wellness is the balancing, and wellness is a thrown around a lot. Wellness is balancing all those unseen parts with those chemicals. And done right, 2 things happen. We sleep really well at night, and we're powerfully generous in the daytime. And that's my observation, and that's an offering. You can agree or disagree with that, but my observation of balancing those unseen parts of a person, you sleep well and you're powerfully generous in the daytime. Because I know when I was going through my shit, I'd be like, I'm killing it, I'm fine, but at nighttime it'd be a part of me saying, you can fool everyone else, but you're not fooling me, mofo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I thank you for sharing that. I love how that's broken down so strategically.
With so many of my therapy clients, we solve the sleep. That's 80% of the problem. Like, just getting good quality enough sleep. She says at 1:30 in the morning in the UK, but it is a thing. Like, sleep is so important, and getting that balance of chemicals right. I love that slide. It makes it so simple, but it's so true. It's so important to do.
But it's hard. It is hard because
hard.
we get caught up in the monotony of our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Well,
My
no,
wife
it's-
even does the whole like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go on.
Well, no, I was just real quick going to say, like, my wife does a little bit of that, reset, even something as simple as walking on grass barefoot, right? Just
Grounding, man. Grounding.
Grounding.
ground yourself,
Yeah.
like, and getting those, like, on a
connection.
scientific sense, getting those negative ions, like, or whatever terms they use. Yeah.
Apparently, I'm standing barefoot on a Shakti mat.
Yeah.
It's like a bed of nails.
I've seen that before. But something to just kind of like reconnect yourself with nature even. And that's why she likes messing around in her garden too. Stuff like that can make you feel a little bit
my
better.
mat right there.
Nice.
Sorry, I don't know if you can see it.
I hate walking on the ground barefoot, but I just
After about
have,
a month,
I think I
everything
have bad
changes. Give it a month.
circulation in my feet and my hands because I have cold feet all the time. So I always have socks on. I hate having cold feet. It's like the worst. It's like one of my pet peeves. That and wet
I'm
feet,
with you.
like wet socks, is the
Yeah.
worst.
See, I
Cold
can
feet
walk
are the worst.
outdoors in the woods barefooted, just because I love doing it. It's when I was a kid, I used to run around, all the time barefooted in the creek and in the
Because you're
woods.
from
yeah.
Kentucky, we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I even did it in Chicago. I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't get me wrong. It's not like
I'm tough too, boys. I'm tough. No, I'm just kidding.
I can be
Yeah, me
part of the
too.
group
The only
too.
time I walk barefooted is on the beach. That's the
No,
only
see,
time
I
I'm
hate
walking
the
barefooted.
beach. I hate
Yeah.
You can get grounding shoes
What?
or shoes with leather soles you can ground out with. Yeah. A lot of
You don't like the
wrestlers are
beach
wearing
ones?
leather-based shoes so
hate
they can have that connection to the earth.
Yeah.
I
I
knew
know,
a,
I
I
hate
knew a guy
I hate
who
sand.
he walked. I knew a guy who walked barefoot for a year. He was a little bit weird. Like, I mean, you have to be to that for a year, but he found it very, very, like you say, calming. He just decided one day to walk barefoot for a year everywhere.
The
we go.
science is catching up with walking barefoot and how we're basically an electrical conductor,
Yeah.
and grounding out. That's why in the AC sockets you'll have that grounding circuit, and you can even buy for my bed you can get grounding sheets. So you plug them into the wall. Not that you don't have to have it on, but the grounding thing, and you lay on these things, and you get 8 hours of grounding. So there's, if you just Google grounding, there's a whole swage of products there.
Yeah.
But I'm about to duck out, but can I make a request of
Sure.
Yeah, I think
Johnny?
we're all about to duck out anyway. We're an hour 37 into this.
So I was blessed enough to do a podcast with Gunny and Willis, and I promised I'd send them my book. The amount of crap I had to fill out to send something overseas, I wasn't going to do it twice, so I just sent them both to Willis, I think, and he gave one to Gunny, and it's one of those books that came through me, and it's if you open it and there's something that kind of speaks to you. The book is the thing inside the book is, what if there was something already inside of you that could change everything outside of you? And it's a rhetorical question because everyone's got that thing that is inside of them that can change everything outside of them. And that's quite a counter to the world's idea of this. You've got to get something outside of yourself. No, it's in here. So my request, Gunny, and this doesn't always work, but I'm just going to see if it does. Crack a page open and just read something that stands out to you and see if it speaks to where we're at.
So I just cracked it open.
Okay.
Page 49. And the first thing that caught my eye, they're not they're not bad people. They're just other people. And other people have other priorities. So that stood out to me right from get-go. As soon as I opened it, I was like, bro, that kind of fits into the conversation earlier. They have other priorities. So,
and us military types, we tend to sort of, I know me, if they're not with us, they're against us. They're the enemy. How do we plot against them? Because they're obviously plotting against us. I'm seeing myself in them. They're just as big as an asshole as me.
Yeah. So it is that time of night, and I want to thank everybody who has come on the panel tonight, and all of our guests that have come in and chit-chatted over here on the side. I do want to, reiterate at the beginning of the show, Ty, you kind of missed this, but we had Ben Kaiser, who is one of the founders of We the Veterans US. They have their military 250 thing going on this year, where they partnered with the NFL, but they're also highlighting 250 service acts of service, 250 military veterans, 250 patriotic organizations through the year of 2025. So I want to give them a big shout out again for coming on here. There's the link right there. Thank you, Gunny, for that. So military250.org, go check it out and see what they got planned. It's super cool. And it is that time of night. So we're going to start at the top of the screen. I'm going to make everybody full screen, and you just do your closing statements real quick, and then we'll get out of here. So we'll start with Mr. Tim.
Okay. I'm just going to invite everybody to breathe in, then breathe in again and again and again. And let it out. Now, when we breathe in again and again, I want you to pinch your fingers together as hard as you can. So breathe in and pinch your fingers. Now hold it and stretch it around the place, stretch it around, and let it out with a big sigh.
Like guttural sigh.
You got it. That's my gift to you. Whenever you feel like the world or the weight on your shoulders, hit your power buttons and really snort it in, stretch it around, and let it out with a big
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Tim. All right, Mr. Theory, you're up, sir.
Oh, hey. Bet you're wondering why I brought you all here today. No, I'm just kidding. I love being on here. I always appreciate you guys hearing me out and keeping it professional and positive. So just want to leave everybody with my normal peace, love, and positivity. Like Willis says, be someone's stranger. Never know what the next person's going through. So just be kind to others. And I hope the beginning of the 2025 year has been good to everybody, and I hope it continues to be good. And if not, then go make it good.
Awesome.
Love you guys.
Thank you, brother. All right, Pippa, you're up, my dear.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and I think similar to Theory, just remember, keep having conversations, being kind, but also that digital detox that we talked about. I think if you take one thing away from today, is just take a day to disconnect and reconnect with yourself.
Love it.
Amen. Amen.
Ty Cobb, you're up, my friend.
I love coming on here. I love being with you. As soon as you enter the room, you feel the energy, even through the internet. So thank you very much, Tim, for sharing. I'm way into that stuff. I told my mom, my mom told me, I should say, that if I had been alive back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, I'd have probably been a hippie. So I've been wanting to connect to the earth forever. So all these healing things that help us get through all the things that we did when we were in the military, we just throw as many tools out there as possible. And if one of them works for you, then use that. If they don't work for you, move on to the next tool. But thank you, Willis. We'll talk to you next time.
Awesome. Thank you. Gunny, you're up.
You got to remember, it's okay not to be okay. Everybody has a struggle that other people don't know about. But just remember, you still have worth and you still have value.
Amen.
All right, guys, it's that time of night. Look, hashtag be someone's stranger. What I mean by that is we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than we will the ones that we love the most. So be somebody's ear. Just be somebody's ear. And then you have to ask that next hard question. Hey, how are you really doing? Because I can run up to any one of these veterans that's on this panel right now and say, hey, how you doing? Most of the time they're going to say, I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm living a dream. Knowing darn well that they're tore up inside. So you have to ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation, could be a 5-hour conversation. You just have to be ready for that conversation. And go check out Tim, Breathwork in Bed. Go check out Mr. Tim Thomas's app. Go buy his book. Holistic healing is amazing. It does wonders for everybody. So it's that time of night, my friends. Like we always say on Tip of the Spear, stay safe out there. We got your six.
We got your six.